Let us begin with a land and labor recognition. We acknowledge that much of our work takes place on the territory and ancestral lands of more than 574 Indigenous tribal nations across Turtle Island, what many of us refer to as North America. We also acknowledge our debt to enslaved Africans, whose labor and suffering built and grew the economy and infrastructure of a country that refuses to recognize their humanity. We invite you to take a moment to reflect on whose land you are living and working. And if you do not know, to take time to research. And Jason's going to put some information about that into the chat. My name is Jen Kunka, and welcome to all of you. Welcome to Wayfinding in the Commons, where hope is a group project. And as I was thinking about what to share today, I kept coming back to my need to connect to myself in the midst of all of the noise that's going on right now in our world. And it's so easy for me to feel disconnected to God and self because of all of the distractions. And as so often happens when we're thinking about something, we come across connections. And earlier this week, I was listening to a podcast that mentioned, Jason, if you could share a slide, it mentioned this commencement speech at Spelman College by Howard Thurman called The Sound of the Genuine. And maybe you have heard this before. If you have and you'd like to hear it again, or if you are interested, you can find it on YouTube. And Jason's going to put a link to this in with the recording of this gathering. But the next slide. In the podcast, they were talking about how Thurman mentions learning how to listen to the sound of the genuine in our own lives. And that really pulled at me. And as I was listening to his speech, next slide, Thurman says, if you cannot hear the sound of the genuine in you, you will all of your life spend your days on the ends of strings that somebody else pulls. And I'm taking a little liberty here, next slide, but for me, I was thinking from a Christian lens, could the sound of the genuine in us be the voice of God, reminding us who and whose we are? And of course, we have to get quiet to listen to that voice, which is hard. It's hard to take that time. And so I just thought, let's give ourselves the gift of time together as a group to listen to the sound of the genuine in us. And so let us start with some breathing. If you could go to the next slide, we're going to ground ourselves in our breath. If you're comfortable closing your eyes, or if you just want to gaze downward, and it's okay if your breath is shallow or deep. We're going to accept however our breath is, but breathe in stillness and breathe out restlessness. On the in-breath, we focus on stillness. And on the out-breath, we release restlessness. Still with your eyes closed or your gaze down, We're going to do a welcoming exercise taken from Thomas Keating. And this is a time to sink into what you are experiencing in your body at this moment. We're not going to change anything. We're just going to pay attention to our bodies. You may feel sensations in your head. What are you feeling in your jaw and in your neck? Are your shoulders tight or loose? Are you feeling pain in your body? What is your stomach sensing? And we're going to welcome and accept and acknowledge what we are feeling in our body. This is a way for our body to tell us things, to tell us about our reality. And we're also going to welcome this moment as an opportunity to consent to the divine indwelling. Rather than resisting or repressing negative emotions and experiences, we're going to accept all that is and invite God in. We're going to invite God into the messiness that is us, invite God into the beauty, into our anxieties and our insecurities, and invite God into our strengths. Knowing that God steps in with arms wide open to embrace all of it and all of us. And we welcome God in, and we let go of our desire for control. We let go of our desire for perfection and our desire for affection. And we embrace this moment as it is. We close with the words, welcome, welcome, welcome. I welcome everything that comes to me today because I know it is for my healing. I welcome thoughts and feelings, emotions and people and conditions. I let go of my desire for power and control. I let go of my desire to change others or myself. And I open to the love and presence of God and God's action within. Amen. Okay, so now I meant to ask you if you have a piece of paper or a notebook, or just can open up a quick document on your computer. And we don't have much time for this next exercise. We may do more of a preparation for it. But Jason, if you could share, for those of you who enjoy journaling, or even if you don't, but you do it sometimes, I share these prompts and ask if there is one or two that are interesting to you, or that are kind of pulling you to explore. So I'll let you take a minute to read. And why don't we take, I think we have about 4 minutes. And 4 minutes is okay. It's a start to do some writing. And this is not anything you're going to share with anybody. I'd like you to know we're not worrying about spelling or grammar or periods. It's just kind of a stream of consciousness to begin writing. Thank you, Jason. I hope you had a chance to just have a start. You can continue later if it's helpful. But we want to send you into breakout rooms and to talk about um, the sound of the genuine in you. And I'll be really interested to hear about your conversations when you come back. And I know in breakout rooms, it can be difficult to get to all three questions. So any of these that really stands out to you, what helps you stay connected to yourself and to God? A spiritual practice in whatever, however you define it. What did the sound of the genuine, that phrase, bring up for you? And because we always have to think about moving forward, steps for moving forward, what would help you feel grounded in the genuine in you and in the presence of God? I think we'll have 20 minutes in these breakout rooms. Okay,
Very
so is
good.
this everyone,
Mhm.
Vincent?
Yeah.
Okay, I only have one question. I think it's the only one I need to ask. What came up in your groups?
So much genuine, they're speechless.
Part of the genuineness is being reminded that we're beloved children of God. And having that reminder at the center can ground us even as society wants to pull us in different directions. Um, and Makesh, do you want to share your example about the glass?
Sure. So, if I have to ask you, when a glass is kind of have about half a glass of water or whatever it is, would you say it's half full or half empty? You guys can unmute and answer. Do you see the glass as half full or half empty?
Depends
What
if
I,
if I just poured it or if I just drank from it. If I drank from it, now it's half empty. If I poured it,
okay,
it's half full.
awesome. Thank you for sharing. So, I have, for me, I was reflecting one day and I was like, why do we say it's half empty, right? Or why do we say it's half filled? Then I realized for me, the space that I don't see anything is there. God is actually there present through the Holy Spirit. And so my glass is never half empty after I recognize that God is always present with me. I may feel drained or I may feel half empty, but then realizing that God is present where I don't recognize God, that give me great comfort to know that, yo, I got you. And that just perks me up. So um, that's what I have shared, that I never really see a glass half empty anymore since then. I realize that that helps me to understand that God is with me always, which fill my cup.
Thank you.
My response with the group was about quiet, being more quiet and more still and listening more and going inside and really just looking at my interior and helping me to just be okay with where I am, and not need to go at the pace that is my natural.
Yeah, thanks, Tammy.
I don't have to run alongside you to keep up.
Jen, right before coming here, I was helping to support the chapel service that was happening in the Lutheran Center in Chicago. And I was the online host, and I heard a wonderful sermon given by Bishop Shelley Bryan Wee. And she preached on the text from Zechariah chapter 4 that I think we just heard if you follow the Common Lectionary this last Sunday. And in verse 6, the text says Zechariah is speaking to a leader of the temple. And Zechariah is saying, God says, not by might, not by power, but by my spirit, this will be done. And just in this polarized political time where it's so easy for us to feel like we have to bring might, we have to bring our power and our strength against this other, whatever is feeling icky to us or unkind or, fill in your word there. It's not by might, it's not by power, it's only by God's Spirit that these things are happening. And for me, that was just a,
Yeah, so countercultural. I told Jason that pastor friend of mine had, let me see, it's from the Ecumenical Center for Clergy Spiritual Renewal. He had 3 spiritual practices that they were kind of part of what I shared with you. And so he shared that document with me, and we'll put that with the recording. If any of you are interested, it's a welcoming prayer, it's some breathing practice, and then quite a few journal prompts. So that will be with the recording. And before we end, I wanted to share just the last 2 minutes of this speech by Howard Thurman.
I'm secure because I hear the sound of the genuine in myself. And having learned to listen to that, I can become quiet enough, still enough, to hear the sound of the genuine in you. Now, if I hear the sound of the genuine in me, and you hear the sound of the genuine in you, it is possible then for me to go down in me and come up in you. So that when I look at myself through your eyes, having made that pilgrimage, I see in me what you see in me. And the wall that separates and divides will disappear. And we will become one. Because the sound of the genuine makes the same music.
I wanted to end with that because there's many reasons for us to take the time to listen to ourselves and to become connected to ourselves and to God. But I love that, of course, one of the reasons is so that we can be open to seeing the people around us, the people in front of us, as beloved children of God.
And we'll include a link to the full recording of that with the recording as well. I think it was 20 minutes, Jen, is that right?
I think
His talk.
so. I think at the most. Yeah.
That's beautiful, Jen. I love that encouragement because as professional coaches, we encourage people to show up as their authentic self, whatever that looks like. And that's a consistent invitation that we bring. And the world does not invite that. That's maybe one of the single most repeated utterances of gratitude that I receive as a coach is thank you for letting me just be me in this space.
And so to end, we're going to quote Jill, but I think we all see this in each other. Go in peace and remember that you are, oh, shoot, sorry, that you are seen, you are valued, and you are loved.